Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ review, episode number 116. I know there are a lot of other things going on right now, but I appreciate everybody that is tuning in live to watch us discuss wrestling. So we're going to be talking about wrestling, nothing else but wrestling tonight. Let me throw it over to our moderator, Virtue. How's it going, man?
Oh man, don't go to Twitter right now. It's just a train wreck over there. People are coming after me because I'm doing my Twitter thing against them. Welcome, NoDQ Galaxy, to a new edition of the NoDQ Review number 116. I am Virtue, being joined by the elite panel of NoDQ, and this week it consists of Aaron Rift, Robbie Vice, Big G, and myself. What's up, everyone?
Hi.
Rob, what's up? I'll start with you.
Nothing. It's been a pretty uneventful week. I can't really think of anything that's caught my attention or any headlines or anything. So, yeah, just kind of watched some wrestling last night. Oh, maybe something else was going on this week. I don't know. Maybe we'll think about it later. But just kind of hanging out, trying not to get killed, and enjoying wrestling, I guess.
Enjoying. Interesting word. We'll see about that after the show. Big G, what's up?
I'm doing good. I was off the past couple of days just watching some movies and chilling with my fiance. Got a good weekend coming up. So other than that, I'm doing good. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. And Money Gang Benji said, first time watching live. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. And the Colin Andrew, I said that wrong, the Cleaver Colin Andrew, not the Colin Andrew, says, with a $5 super chat, thank you, by the way, Colin, he says, cheers, my friends. Looking forward to this. Yes, let's do it. Let's give everybody a break from real life. Well, wrestling is real, right? People are fake. We're going to talk about some pro wrestling. We got several interesting topics. Virtue, let's go ahead and get right down to it.
All right, we'll kick it off. Hey, and if we don't go full hour tonight, which you know I love not trying to go the full hour, I'm okay with that. Football's on tonight. But let's start with this AEW news. And, you know, rumors are rumors, but I don't think we've necessarily went into depth on this. And since I saw it on NoDQ.com, a free website, Sting, could Sting be in AEW? Could he maybe show up at Full Gear for an appearance or two? We know how his run was in WWE, got injured, kind of sucks. Aaron Rift, what's that point mean?
We have a $3.87 super chat from the one and only Caleb Jacobs. He says, I say have Sting get physical with Arn Anderson. I'm guessing he's talking about at Full Gear,
Yeah.
but we'll get everybody's thoughts on a potential Sting appearance at Full Gear.
Well, thank you, Caleb. And that was an unsolicited donation, which, you know, you can do that, but we're not asking you to pay anything to watch NoDQ, to listen to NoDQ, to go to NoDQ.com. So, Robbie, I'm going to start with you. What do you think here? AEW needs something. Like, Kenny Omega is not the real cleaner. Who is Hangman Page? What have the Young Bucks have done? Where has Chris Jericho devolved to? I mean, they need a little spike because Tyson, that didn't really last, granted, because of the pandemic, and he's not going to do anything there without fans. Is Sting a possibility? If so, interesting or just blah? What do you think?
I mean, it's always fun to see a legend show up somewhere, right? I think Sting has a rich history with not only the TNT channel, but WCW, Impact TNA. Why not add AEW to that? I mean, I will say that, like, I don't really want to see him wrestle, cinematic or otherwise. The only match I would really want to see Sting do is against The Undertaker in a cinematic match. I don't even really want it that bad, but if it has to happen, that's what I want to see. But I think Sting could be useful in the same sense, like Jake the Snake Roberts. I think if they're really looking to push someone like Darby Allin, I would love to see Sting come back and kind of mentor, be in his corner. You know, I think that could be really fun. But to see him wrestle and, oh my God, Arn Anderson, they would both break a hip and die in a nursing home. Please don't. I don't want to see that at all. But man, as a manager for Darby, I give that a thumbs up. I think it could be really interesting.
Something as simple as this, Robbie. They've been showing Darby Allin up in the rafters, or kind of. Then say he starts coming down and doing more things, but he needs help. There's just nobody there. Then they pan up at the end of a Dynamite and Sting's up there. Totally WCW, but
The Crow Sting?
Yeah. And we know
Well,
Tony Khan was a mark for WCW because he kind of tries to do a lot of that stuff. So
Yes,
why
he
not
does.
at this point? You
Yeah.
don't have 1 million weekly viewers. Why not? I mean, give it a shot. That's what I think.
I mean, and that's just my opinion. I'm not someone who's made $1 million off of wrestling, but that's just an opinion of a balding fat
Were we
nerd,
ever
I
on a Big
guess.
Brother episode or
I'm not a
season?
douchebag, so no.
I don't know. I don't know if they pay millions for that either. But anyways, Big G, What do you think here? I'd like to see Sting show back up. I mean,
yeah,
he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. Why not?
It's been a while since we've seen Sting. Last time, obviously, in WWE against Seth Rollins, where he got hurt. I saw Sting in MCW a couple of years too. He just came out and did a promo, and I'm fine with that. With him being in a mentor kind of way, like Robbie said, especially Darby Allin. I kind of see Darby Allin in that way, like a younger Sting. You know, that mystique. You know, he was up in the rafters the past couple of Dynamites. And like you guys mentioned, Sting did that in the past in WCW and whatnot. So I could see him, like I said, being a mentor. I don't really want to see him wrestle anymore. I don't think he needs to. He doesn't need to prove anything anymore in the ring. He's done everything he possibly can do. But adding AEW to his resume would be tremendous. I have always liked Sting, so that's my opinion about Sting being in AEW. If he doesn't show up, that's fine too.
Well, thank you for that opinion, Big G. That's why you're here. Aaron Rift, what do you think? I mean, you talk about these things, or you post the rumors and stuff on the site.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly a lot of speculation about Sting, and maybe Darby Allin being up in the rafters is a clue, is a little bit of foreshadowing. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, have Sting become the general manager of AEW. I actually would not mind that. I did mention on my stream the other night that I would like to see an authority figure in AEW. Maybe Sting could play that role. He's a really solid talker. And yeah, you could potentially have him mentor Darby Allin and maybe get one more match out of him. Maybe do a tag match where Sting can just get the hot tag and hit a Stinger splash. Doesn't have to take any bumps. Well, hey, why not? It would be better than what Bret Hart did in 2010 with Vince. That match was terrible. They should have made a tag match out of that. Yeah, I mean, that was such a disappointment. But a tag match...
Thanks for bringing that up again, Aaron.
No problem.
And didn't he win the U.S. title against Miz the night after?
Yeah, taking no bumps. So yeah, maybe for like a one-off, Sting could do something where he comes in, hits a Stinger splash, and then Darby makes the pin. And that way Sting can technically have one more match and do something in AEW and help elevate Darby. I could see it happening. I think there's definitely a possibility of that. And then we do have a $5 super chat, and Kaz Swore, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, I apologize, says, we have seen Bret Hart, why not Sting? There you go. Justin Brosnan sent in a €5 super chat. Again,
totally voluntarily. Yeah, voluntarily, yeah.
Says, imagine Sting returned and Big Show was his bodyguard, and then suddenly Big Show turns heel and shocks the world.
You paid $5 to say that, bro?
I do not think that Big Show is going to be in AEW, first of all. But I still like my idea of Big Show turning heel every other week. I think WWE should just embrace it and have Big Show. Just like Nia Jax puts Lana through a table every week, Big Show turns every week. And he
could be in the 24/7 title picture doing that. That could be fun with R-Truth.
The split personality show. He could just have a gimmick reinvention and evolve his character into something we haven't. Well, we have seen it before, but just go full force with it. And
what I'd like to see if Sting showed up? He just Scorpion Death drops everybody that we don't like the Marco Stunts, the Orange Cassidys. And he can't do it to the bigger guys. And then finally the bigger guys take over. Like Sting comes back or comes to AEW to finally get the bigger guys over. I mean, yeah, I just said that as, being a little trollish there. But seriously, though, the big guys need pushed in AEW.
And Elijah brought up how maybe Sting could turn against Cody since Sting and Dusty were a team versus the Road Warriors in WCW. I don't think we're going to see Sting turn heel if he comes in. He's a legend. He comes in, he's a babyface. If anything, Cody would be the one, I think, that would turn heel if he even does, which I really don't think he should.
That would be the match if Sting could go, I think, Cody and Sting, because of the legacy of Dusty.
Yeah, that's true. And Shanti, I did not forget your super chat because you were off topic, so that's what you get. But now that we've pretty much said our piece about Sting, I will read off Shanti's $5 super chat. Thank you, Shanti. He says, Shanti is live. Can we get a 10-bell salute for the loss of little Jimmy? Shame on me for going off topic. Yes, shame on you. 10 bell salute. People really don't like the sound effects, so we'll have a moment of silence for little Jimmy, all right? Moment of silence.
I'll check Twitter.
All right. Hey, you're making noise. Cut that out. Now we have to start over.
That was my water bottle popping. Sorry.
Now we have to start over. No, okay. We're done. Enough of that.
He just stood there, just like silent for like.
All right, so
30
we have to
seconds.
talk about that. I mean, he probably won't show up over there, but never say never. So we will see.
I think
then we'll
CM
talk.
Punk has a bigger likelihood to show up in AEW than Sting,
Ooh.
but
These days, never say never. $50, Rob. $50. Now, I know AEW does not do their pay-per-views every month. WWE Network has 12 a year, sometimes more, way more if you count all the NXTs and everything. And we pay $9.99 a month, and that includes WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble. That's where we are today. The only people that are going to pay $50 for AEW pay-per-views are the AEW diehard fans, and not even all of them. I bet you half of them illegally stream it. So what I'm saying here is this way too much? Should they drop it down to 30? Can they get on an app? Is that even profitable for them? So, Rob, I'll start with you because we got Full Gear coming up. Okay, Aaron?
Yeah, real quick before Robbie goes. Johnny Boy sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Johnny. He says, I still think Sting needs to crash Undertaker's 30th anniversary. I don't think that's going to happen. I think people need to let that one go. I mean, it could be a swerve by WWE where they're pulling his merchandise to get everybody saying, oh, he's done, and then he shows up at Survivor Series. But I'm not going to put money down on that one. Anyways, Robbie, go ahead.
So yeah, I think the AEW model of pay-per-views is extremely archaic. And let's put this into perspective. For one AEW pay-per-view, I'm paying $50. And like Virtue said, I can get WrestleMania, Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble,
new brand of condom.
A new brand of condom. Hey, WWE had those for a while back in the day.
A little crown on the package.
That's right. But yeah, dude, so you get Mania, Survivor Series, the Rumble, SummerSlam, and let's just say Hell in a Cell or any of those pay-per-views. I get all of that content for $50. On top of that, I also get NXT and I get the entire value of the network. With AEW, I'm getting $50 and I'm getting like 2 matches I want to watch. And that's my biggest problem with this. It's not ideal. And like some of the notes I put on here, it's like, they could increase the value and actually make me want to watch this if they could have less comedy and throwaway matches on the pay-per-views. I get it that people want to see the comedy and all that different things, but it has no business to be on a pay-per-view. That Mimosa match was an absolute stain on wrestling. It was absolute utter garbage, and if you liked it, you should feel bad about yourself.
I didn't even like it. And I didn't even like the whole Jericho Cassidy stuff, and
terrible.
Everybody knows how big of a mark I am for Chris Jericho.
So I would say they need to get the ball because you know what? I'm excited to see the Kingston match. I'm excited to see Cody because I'm going to buy it tomorrow or on Saturday. And I'm going to be begrudging about it, I'm sure. But there's a few matches I want to see. But my God, man, like their buy-in battle royal thing every year is trash. Their women's division is trash. Their mid card is trash. They have a great upper card, but dude, a lot of this stuff is bad. AEW the last 2 months has been bad. I'm shocked I'm willing to shell out $50 to spend 2 hours of my life watching it, but research. I guess you got to do what you got to do. Research.
Doing it.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe I'll write it off on my taxes this year.
There you go.
Well, awesome input there. Okay, Big G, back to you here. You got to have something here. You've been the NXT guy, NXT UK guy, but you're going to see Full Gear.
Yeah, I'll be purchasing it. I mean, I've purchased the last 3 or 4 AEW pay-per-views. But you got to remember, back in the day, before the network and all that stuff, we had to pay $50-some-odd to watch the pay-per-views.
Well, I don't know if they got that high. I think that was just WrestleMania, maybe.
Okay.
And that was for
I remember 25, 30. Yeah.
Also, Big G, not to cut you off, but dude, back in the day, we also rode around in horse and buggies, and we didn't use cars. Just because we used to do it a certain way doesn't mean it's correct.
That's true. Okay.
Please don't cut him off because he wants to use that Royal Rubber when it gets released.
Well, but Big G knows we'll come back to him, and he'll continue his thought if he doesn't get sidetracked.
No, I'm fine. I mean, we're so used to paying $10 a month for the pay-per-views ever since 2014. We said you get everything. You can go. They got WCW pay-per-views, ECW pay-per-views. They got now. I think they added like all the indie stuff from different promotions, and you got all this content. And I mean, I like AEW too. I'm not gonna say I'm a diehard fan. There are some good things. There are some bad things, but I do enjoy watching the pay-per-views. Most of the matches this coming Saturday I'm intrigued with, and then there's some, especially the women's match, I'm not really interested in watching, but I'll probably be off in the bathroom somewhere taking a leak or taking a poop, whatever. Anyways. So that's my thought on that. Aaron, obviously we know you're gonna be paying for the pay-per-view legally because for business.
I do not have a problem. I know it's a tough market for AEW because of WWE and the network, but from my understanding, their pay-per-view numbers have been pretty solid. They've been able to get people to buy the pay-per-views. More power to them for that. I personally think that they're worth it almost every time. I think All Out maybe not worth $50, but it was still a really solid pay-per-view for the money, and the effort is put in. My biggest complaint is I am not a fan of it starting at 8 Eastern and going on till like midnight. So, Tony Khan, I've said this before, please make it start sooner and end it sooner. I get that you want to do a longer show so people are getting their money's worth, but midnight, it's just too late for me. I dread having to do those live streams afterwards, but hey, it's my job, so I got to do it, and I will be doing it once again this Saturday night.
Would you still buy it if this wasn't your job?
This one? Probably not.
Yeah.
I think it's a ripoff. I would not pay that for wrestling. The only way I would give AEW my money for a pay-per-view maybe is if they get Mike Tyson. Even though it's not a real boxing fight, I will pay the $100 to watch Mike Tyson come back and box an exhibition match. Yeah. That, I don't pay big bucks to watch UFC or anything like that. But if there's a big attraction, I will pay the money for that. There's just no big attraction in AEW right now. If CM Punk returned, I might pay that. If a John Cena showed up in AEW, I might pay that. Big attractions.
Yeah, I think All Out this year I would not have. The pay-per-view back in, when was it, May, Double or Nothing. That one I think I would have, just because of the curiosity factor to see what they would do with the arena and the stadium and everything. And Revolution I definitely would have bought because they were building up Moxley and Jericho. I was looking forward to that. And you had the pay-per-view in Chicago. You knew you were going to have a rabid crowd. And that really adds to the show, too. It's hard to spend $50 on an empty arena show. The first one was a novelty, but then All Out, I was kind of like, But I did anyways. It's my job, so I will continue to buy them. And I think it will be a really good show when it's all said and done. How good remains to be seen.
All right, well, moving on here.
Wait a second. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat. Thank you, I guess,
voluntarily.
For this one. Says, Aaron looks like an extra from American History X.
Jesus.
I've never seen the movie, so...
It's not a good thing.
Wow. Well... no, he doesn't. Any other chats? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How high will we get to count for Lana going through a table on Monday Night Raw? Yes, this is a topic because we know Miro is in AEW, and I've heard the rumors that, this is to get Lana over, to get sympathy, to turn her face. She lost to Asuka in 2 minutes. She gets beaten every match. How is this getting Lana over? Does she have new merch she's selling? It's clearly a rib, like I stated from day one, but we don't need to talk about that. Big G, I just want you to tell me how many times do you think that they'll actually put her through the table? Or will she get over, like supposedly the rumor says she's going to be turned into this big baby face? Because it ain't happening for me. It's just a silly rib because of Miro being in AEW to me.
That's
So-
exactly what I was gonna say. I'm gonna say,
But give me a magic number. We all have to say what our number over and under when it's all said and done. How many times she gets slammed through that table? Which, by the way, we all know she's not really breaking the table. It's Nia's butt. Okay, if
Yeah.
you watch the table break, so at least she's being protected.
she's
But
she's at 7 right now. I can see them going up to like 20,
so that's so over 20 or under 20.
under 20.
Okay. So are they going anywhere with it, or is this just a rib? Nothing more to say.
I think it's just the rib. I mean, I feel
No color
I don't want to
commentary?
say. I kind of feel bad for Lana that she's doing this, but I mean,
Getting
obviously
paid.
she's getting paid. Obviously, she agreed to do this. So if she does it for the next couple weeks, whatever. Like I said, under 20.
Okay, Robbie, I know
I
you
mean,
have some color commentary here.
She is going over, but she's going over Nia's head through a table. Is that a good dad joke? Is that my dad joke of the night? So she's currently at 7. So this is my thought process on this. WWE has the attention span of a fly. I don't think they stick with this very much longer. I give it 3 more times, and I think Lana just goes away for a while. I think it's just like, because it's what's it really accomplishing? Lana is not going to win a women's title, and guess who's not going to be in the women's title picture going into WrestleMania? Lana. Do you think Lana's going to be defending the title at WrestleMania this year? Do you think Lana's going to be chasing the title at WrestleMania this year? Is she going to be going against Asuka? Like, what do you? No, she's going to get 3 more times. She's going to disappear from TV, and then she'll show up in a tag team with Dana Brooke when they're done with her.
Big G, why didn't you just interrupt Rob like he did?
Yeah,
You?
just yell at me, dude.
I have respect for Rob.
Okay.
No, if Lana somehow wins the title and retains the title at WrestleMania, I will shave my head bald.
Oh, I thought you were going to denounce your Steelers fandom.
No, you have to change all of your stuff to Patriot stuff and have a Tom Brady lapel.
Wow.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, I'll do that.
And shave your head.
Whoa.
Okay, now one or the other. I'm not doing both.
Okay, Robbie, you want to add anything else, or?
Let me check my notes real quick. Lana's awful. It's not leading to anything. Who cares? Nope, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, Aaron, unless she gets hurt or they decide to put her into catering purgatory, I don't know exactly. Does she have like a 5-year deal supposedly with WWE? Did that ever come out? Doesn't she? Or she has a long deal, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going over 20. It might not be Nia doing it. They might transition it into her going through a table some other way. But I'm saying when we're all said and done, it's going to be over 20 times. That's how ridiculous this is going to be, because it's totally a Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard thing. Oh, I'll stick it to you. Unless you would think they would just put her off TV, right, and keep her irrelevant, right, as punishment. But no, they get their jollies off of this stuff. And I don't think it's building her up, Aaron. She's not going to be. I mean, she couldn't even get, unless she's in lingerie in a hotel room. And even that Bobby Lashley stuff was cringeworthy, but the YouTube videos got hits because it was sexy Lana. That's how I wrote an article about sex appeal is always needed in wrestling, and the numbers back it up. They always will. That's what Lana's role would be. Sex. And doing this is not. She's wearing a one-piece suit, right? She still looks good, but she's losing matches and she's going through tables, Aaron. So I don't see this leading to anything for her other than embarrassment. What do you think?
I think that this very well could be the worst topic in the history of the No DQ review. Just saying.
I think so.
Actually, I don't think so, because Lana sells and she gets hits on YouTube, right or wrong.
She gets hits, but I don't know if she will get us hits.
Anytime we use anything sex or Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, it gets hits on this review.
Use
So just
Lana
because
as
she gets interested in it, Aaron, because it's not bringing clicks to your article or whatever you post news, or you have no news on Lana, and it's not doing anything for your ads.
Well, then everybody, prove me wrong. Tell your friends to tune in right now so we can get a bump in viewership for this topic, because according to Virtue, this is the hottest topic we've ever done in the No DQ review.
Well, first of all, you're putting words in my mouth. I'm just saying it's not the worst topic, and you're saying I said it was.
Well, I'm
the
just
best
trying to
topic.
make you sound
Well,
intelligent.
Aaron,
That's why I'm putting words in your
No
mouth.
DQ. Who cannot lose an argument on Twitter? Who is the king of the troll slang? It's me. You're trying to troll me because you know I pick every one of these topics, and because Aaron doesn't like to talk about sex or anybody like Lana who really has no relevancy in wrestling unless it's her body. I don't want to talk about her getting slammed through tables. And I don't believe in ribs in wrestling either. When clearly you first told me and you laughed at me when you said, oh, that's not a rib. And then 7 times now. 7 times now. And you're still going to say this is not an interesting topic when she's getting ribbed by Vince McMahon, and Bruce Pritchard, and The Office, and Dunn, and all those people every week. People know it. People in the business know it. It's happened that many times. That's not coincidence, Aaron. Hot topic. By the way,
you shut up, man.
That's the mid-card.
All right. So it's over. It's without going over, right? For the number.
Yeah. I say over.
Okay, so Robbie said 10. So if it's 11, he loses. I'm just going to go with 9. 2 more weeks. I think we got 2 more weeks until Survivor Series. It'll end.
You take
after
your Price is
Survivor
Right
Series.
crap strategy out of this, Mr. Rift.
All I need is for them to keep happening, and we'll go over 20. That's all we need to do. So.
Okay, well, I hope this gets like 5,000 views because I want to be wrong.
Today, Aaron. Our reviews are always contingent on the thumbnail you put up and the main event. So
well, I'll have to change the thumbnail, and then
You
I'll have a
have to
ton of
have
people
filler.
saying "Slow News Week." Why do you have to use a picture of Lana?
Of who?
Lana.
But we didn't use a picture of Lana.
Well, I'm
She's
going to
just a
have to
mid-card
change
topic
it
in
now.
this show. She's a mid-card topic
Roman
in
Reigns
this
is
show.
apparently not sexy enough to get us
Let's
5,000
move,
views.
let's move on to this one. So,
What is happening?
I don't know.
it's because I called Aaron out for being disinterested in a topic when he should know how to at least try to show interest in every topic.
Well, you used to have some really good ideas, and now it's like, how many times will Lana go through a table? What's next? How many times R-Truth will win the 24/7 title on an episode of Raw?
But that's not interesting. Lana going through a table this many times is interesting because you said it wasn't a rib on her when I called it out 7 weeks ago, and now it clearly is, and you don't want to eat crow. That's what this whole point of this topic was, and we'll bring it back up if it continues to happen.
Hold on a second here. Psycho Jet
This
Black.
might be the weekly Lana segment. Dude, Bart Gunn has been a topic on this show, okay?
Well, Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says, it's sad that Lana is still more over than Ricochet.
Oh,
I forgot that dude existed.
Dude, and it led to that comment. Don't tell me this does not
Well,
mean
I'll give you this, Virtue. Lana is more over than Ricochet. If we put Ricochet as the thumbnail, we're going to be down to like 1,000 views for the NoDQ review. I will never do that. I promise you. We will never have Ricochet as the thumbnail.
Unless he goes to AEW, and then you'll get 5,000 clicks from the Fedora army.
Well, we'll get 5,000 clicks for like the first night, and then he'll be on AEW Dark every week, and people will say he's being so much better utilized than in WWE, and he'll do like 1 million flips, and everybody will be like, look what they could have done in WWE with Ricochet.
The climate of the world has made us all a little stressed out, people. I'm
Not
sorry.
really. I'm having fun with this.
Oh, wait,
and I was
wait a minute.
I was in a Twitter troll battle before this, so
Okay.
I'm ramped. I'm ready to go.
TJS sent in a 99-cent super sticker with an angry face. I don't know why he's angry. Is he angry because Trump conceded?
Because he
or
loves
something?
Ricochet. It's his favorite wrestler.
Well, that angry face is a great segue, and I feel a lot of fans get angry when Aaron posts news on his free site, by the way, NoDQ.com, for rumors of these potential returns. Tyson Fury to wrestling, Cain Velasquez, even Ronda Rousey. And you know what? Robbie and I are going to talk about this on another little smaller podcast later. What's everyone's thoughts here? Like, do you get angry when you see this? Because I know why wrestling fans get mad. Because it takes spots away from wrestlers they want to see pushed, like Ricochet.
I was just going to say.
But Big T, like, obviously Ronda made some headway. She did pretty well. But very forgettable was Tyson Fury and Velasquez. Why do these type of people make fans so mad, particularly wrestling fans? They do appeal to casuals, but they don't have them long enough to make a difference, to get those casuals in. Rousey maybe a little bit, but like, what's your take? They make people, wrestling fans, mad.
I don't understand why, but I enjoyed Ronda Rousey's run when she came in the WWE. I was a fan of Ronda when she was in the UFC. Now, we've had Mike Tyson in the WWE with do his thing back in '98 with Austin and Shawn Michaels and DX. He didn't wrestle a match, but he was there. He was a boxer. He came from the outside world. You had Floyd Money Mayweather at WrestleMania 24 against the Big Show, and I'm sure people were mad about that. But I think WWE is trying to get exposure outside of WWE with these big names. You had, like I said, Mike Tyson, Floyd Money Mayweather, just recently Cain Velasquez and Tyson Fury. I mean, if it's a one-off match, fine. They're getting their big payday. We haven't seen Floyd Money Mayweather, since WrestleMania 24. Mike Tyson shows up every once in a while. I think he was on a Raw as a guest host. He was
had a big
in
role
AEW.
at WrestleMania 14, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mr. T did at WrestleMania
Mr.
1.
T,
so
thank you
I
very
feel
much.
Vince is always stuck on it working in the past, thinking, oh, this works. But it doesn't always. And maybe the times change with those type of people.
And, I mean, maybe people didn't. Obviously, maybe the people didn't know who Tyson Fury was. He's a boxer as well. And they feel, like you said, they're taking spots away from people that actually wrestle in the company. Okay, but you had Ronda Rousey in there. And, I mean, you had them cheering for Ronda Rousey when he first came in, obviously, and then she turned heel and they booed her and whatnot. But that's how she worked in the WWE bubble. I'm going to say Shayna Baszler. She's another person that came from the UFC, and she's doing great in WWE right now. But I don't understand why people are getting angry over a one-time match, with these boxers or people from the UFC.
Well, they're not very good wrestlers. Ronda impressed because she was pretty decent in the ring. But like Fury and Velasquez,
well, they're not
very good
wrestlers. They're not going to be great wrestlers. I mean, they'll do like a couple suplexes here, a couple clotheslines here, your basic moves. But people are now so invested in the flips and stuff like that. That's what they want to see. And so I think that's why they're, I don't want to say angry, but upset with outsiders coming in to what they believe is theirs, the WWE.
Well said.
All right, thank you. Robbie Weiss. We're going to talk about this more in depth later, and we're going to even add in Brock Lesnar because, he's a UFC guy. But what do you think?
Lesnar. So I'm going to say a couple of things. First of all, I think Cain Velasquez is actually trained in Lucha Libre, and I think he's okay at it. And supposedly the last time he was on WWE television, he was suffering an injury. Now,
hey, who would you rather watch a match?
I'm not. Oh,
no. This is for you. Trust me. You got it.
Okay.
Velasquez or Dominic Mysterio?
Velasquez.
Well,
Dominic Mysterio should be trained somewhere where no one could ever see him and actually get him a real experience, because training on Monday Night Raw against Seth Rollins for 4 months is probably not an ideal way to get someone over. But Velasquez actually, I think, is talented. It's just he has the acting skills of Frank Thomas in those Nugenics commercials, and it's just terrible. Tyson Fury, I didn't even know who the hell that was until he showed up the one day. And again, it's just really cheesy, bad acting. And I think that's what people do it because we want to suspend our disbelief, right? But when you have some megastar show up and be like, I'm going to fight you, Big Show. I'm going to knock you out. You're just like, dude, get the hell off my TV. You look like a jerk. I guess I shouldn't be swearing on this channel. But I just think they don't have enough star power there. Ronda Rousey, on the other hand, I mean, she was a megastar and she was like a pop culture icon.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone in wrestling before they ever were talked about be like, dude, I would love Tyson Fury to come feud with someone, or I would love to see Cain Velasquez on WWE television. No, because all they're doing is taking away spots from people who could use it and deserve it. I'm just completely against it. I think not only are they bad, they take away stuff from people who deserve it. And the fans really kind of reject this whole celebrity thing. Like, do you remember when they were doing all those celebrity hosts? It was just boo after boo, and it was terrible. This reminds me of that, and I'm not a fan of that. But Ronda, and I'll talk about Brock later, but Ronda was a legitimate star, and I can see why she got over. And she headlined WrestleMania. Cain Velasquez is not going to headline WrestleMania, and Tyson Fury is not going to headline WrestleMania. So
right.
Good
my cat's pissed too. She doesn't like it either. You hear her yelling.
All right, Aaron. Well, thank you for your input there, Robbie. Aaron, I'll pass it over to you.
I think that What you guys said, it's very accurate. I think that that's how a lot of wrestling fans feel. They do not like outsiders coming in, especially outsiders that do not follow the product, and it's clear they're not wrestling fans. Like when Jeremy Piven came on, it was obvious that this guy has never watched a wrestling show in his life. Summerfest.
Or the NFL thing, the NFL crossover they did where they interviewed the NFL people about like WrestleMania, I think it was, and they're all like, I like Hulk Hogan. And you're like, cool.
Yeah. Wasn't there a guy in 94, I think at the King of the Ring, he was asked about his favorite wrestler and he said Hulk Hogan. And this was when Hogan was on his way to WCW. I could just see Vince blowing up in the back or at the announce booth, wherever he was at the time. But yeah, there are some celebrities that come in and can make a real impact, like Mike Tyson did in 98, because he was legitimately and still is one of the most iconic names in sports history. Even if you're not a boxing fan, you know who Mike Tyson is. But there's so many of these guys that come in and nobody knows who they are. They're C-list celebrities, and to make matters worse, they just don't know anything about wrestling, and that's annoying. It takes up TV time. We want to see our people. We want to see the superstars and the wrestlers do their thing. We don't want to see these celebrities that come in and just take up the TV time. Like if we wanted to watch them, we'd go follow whatever they're doing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Art Donovan, King of the Ring 94. Thanks for that one, Adrian. Thank you for reminding me of that ordeal. That pay-per-view was awful. I think the 95 King of the Ring was even worse. The only good thing about 94 was Owen winning the tournament, but that pay-per-view overall was pretty brutal as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, I agree with Christopher. Bob Barker was probably the best guest host of that period.
Yeah, that whole thing with Jericho was gold. Back when Jericho was at his peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that Mike Tyson Chris Jericho thing in 2010 was pretty good because they referenced it 10 years later. They brought that back, so there you go.
Yep. I mean, Tyson Fury, like, what's heavyweight boxing these days? It's not what it used to be in the past.
No.
We already
went to MMA.
Well, yeah, and then Velasquez. I mean, we've already had UFC fighters: Shamrock, Brock. Brock went to UFC. Rousey. So like, there's no appeal. Like the rose was off the bloom there. And of course, Rousey worked out pretty well. And of course, fans got upset at her at some point when she showed a little disinterest. As a shoot, whether that was legit or not. But that's what it is. Fans want to see their wrestling. They just want their wrestling. They're wrestlers. So, all right. Main event time. Roman's faction. We don't know exactly what it's going to be called yet. The tribal something, Roman Empire. I mean, we could say what we think it should be called. Paul Heyman's a little advocate there. Jey Uso did finally turn at the expense here of Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan could be key in this. I'd like to see him be against them. I don't know if that'll build to a match with Roman over time or what. But what's that?
Nobody cares what you have to say, Virtue. There was a cat on the camera.
Oh, well, I'm going to continue to talk, so who cares? So, Big G.
Yes.
Roman faction. Who else could join? What's your thoughts on Jey turning heel? And we all kind of anticipated this would happen. Is Jimmy next? Is Nia next? Where is this going to go? It's better than what Roman used to be based on Vince McMahon's vision.
Yep. So I knew eventually Jey would turn heel. I didn't think it would be this quick though, but with everything going on in the past two matches, I was like, okay, this is the perfect time. And when Jimmy comes back, I no doubt that he will be part of this faction. They should have kept Naomi on there because she's in that family too. She's married to Jimmy. So she could have played a role in there. I mean, they might switch her back to SmackDown when Jimmy comes back in the next couple months or whenever. Somebody who I would like to see, I mean, a whole lot of people are probably not big fans of her, but she's got ties to the family too, and she's on SmackDown. Tamina. She hasn't done much lately, but maybe this could boost her in a way that she needs to revitalize her career in some kind of way. Like I said, she's got ties to the Anoa'i family with Snuka. maybe maybe Nia Jax. I don't know, maybe down the line, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think she's going to be on Raw with Shayna for the foreseeable future. I would love to see a Daniel Bryan match with Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, because that's sure as hell ain't going to happen on TLC. That'd just be stupid. But we know WWE, they're going to blow their load and have it at TLC, in a TLC match, no doubt. And I feel like maybe even Rikishi could show up and play some kind of role in this whole angle going on. And I could see them calling themselves the Samoan Dynasty. That's what they are. They are a dynasty all the way back to High Chief Peter Maivia. I've liked the Anoa'i family. So that's what I think is going to happen in the foreseeable future with Roman Reigns and the Usos and their whole Anoa'i family.
Over to you, Aaron.
We do have a €2 super chat from Adrian. He says, would you have an issue with Conor McGregor wrestling? I guess I would be okay with it because he's a pretty big star. Oh, yeah. I mean, the problem is I just don't like the guy. But then again, Mike Tyson wasn't the most likable guy outside of the boxing ring. I guess it would be okay. I mean, whatever. I could see them possibly using him 5 years from now in Saudi Arabia once he's past his prime as far as his drawing power goes.
Yeah.
Aaron, I'll pass it over to you.
Oh. Am I going?
Oh, Aaron. I'll pass it over to Aaron for the
You want me to talk about Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, I hope they have some badass entrance music. Elijah in the chat room asked me about the music. I'm afraid it's going to be some crap from Def Label or whatever they're called. I think they should license music, use a mainstream song for their group, because I don't think they're going to bring back Jim Johnston or CFOs, and the new group isn't cutting it for me. License the music. Rebel. Give them something different, outside the box. That's the first thing. I would like to see a female member, and I saw Robbie shaking his head about Tamina, and you're probably right about Tamina. I don't know if she would work out. I think Naomi would be a better fit if you were going to have a female member of the group. She's married to Jimmy, as Big G pointed out, and she's not doing anything on Raw. I mean, I don't even think she's appeared since the draft. Am I wrong on that?
She's on SmackDown. She's still on SmackDown.
Wait a minute. Didn't she get drafted to Raw?
Tamina, no, she's on SmackDown.
No, Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi's on Raw, yeah.
Yeah, that was my point. Naomi is on Raw, and she's not doing anything. So why not bring her over to SmackDown?
I think she's still out with an injury, too, I think. She had some kind of surgery recently again.
Well, maybe that's why she's not around, but I think she should be involved, and you don't want the faction to get too big. So I would have one more member, maybe a female member, and leave it at 4, just like the 4 Horsemen, and keep building them up, and hopefully you can get somebody big for WrestleMania to fight Reigns, whether it's The Rock. I mean, that would be ideal. If not The Rock, maybe a John Cena. He would be a great choice. Maybe Brock Lesnar comes in as a babyface to fight Roman Reigns. I would be okay with seeing that. There's a lot of possibilities for it, and I hope WWE continues to book this storyline well. I think this faction group has a lot of potential to be very entertaining over the next several months, and they could drag this out for at least a year, if not longer. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, call the faction the Roman World Order. I'm guessing it took you a very long time to come up with that one, Psycho Jet Black. I'm fine with the Bloodline or the Samoan Dynasty. As long as they don't come up with some really stupid name, I think it'll be fine.
Which they will.
The Samoan Experience.
They don't need to rush this either. They don't need to rush it because we're still in the pandemic and there's no live crowd, so they should slow roll this. I mean, it took over a month to get Jay there, So, Robbie, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I just want to say, Big G, that you totally snatched defeat from the jaws of victory with your with your little thing there. You started off on the right track because you actually picked exactly who I did in the first sentence, which is Naomi, because it makes the most sense. Let me check my notes here. Yeah, so Naomi is technically in the family, so she fits that bloodline moniker that they're going to probably adopt for themselves, right? She's doing nothing. She's extremely athletic. She's very smart in the ring. She's good in the ring, even though her finisher is the stupidest thing on the roster right now. But she's also someone that's in desperate need of a rework for her character. And I think an aggressive Naomi could be the perfect female heel that's believable and has clout, who's around superstars, that could headline, not co-headline, headline WrestleMania. Obviously, she won't because of Roman, but she could because she has that charisma. And if she comes out serious, she could literally call people out. Basically, all the same things that people had against Roman Reigns is similar to Naomi. And I would love to see her on a tear. I want to see her with the Women's Championship, the Usos with the tag titles, and I want to see Roman with the World Heavyweight Championship and possibly even Intercontinental or US title. I want to see this, all the gold on this faction like they did back in NXT with Undisputed Era. But man, Naomi. And then you go to Tamina. Dude, Tamina is like 45 years old. She's done. Like she's gonna show up when they need like the 40th woman for a battle royal. She's probably like a good locker room leader, like not taking anything away from her as a person, but her time is long past. And if we have to add another Samoan that's not a female, I would really like to see Samoa Joe get some kind of recognition, some kind of big push, involved in some kind of big storyline. Because my God, if anyone in that company deserves it, it's Joe. I've been a huge fan of his since back in TNA, and I think he'd be a good fit. But man, my number one, I think Naomi's a lock for that. I think when she comes back, that's who goes.
We had a comment in the chat room from Curtis Butler about Jacob Fatu from MLW possibly coming in at some point. And it could be like Evolution, where he's the young guy that's being groomed for the top spot, and maybe even eventually he could challenge Reigns for the head of the table.
Aaron, before I go, any super chats come in?
Oh, okay. Somebody named NoDQ Virtue sent in a $2 super chat. Says, thoughts on Lana going through the table 7 times?
Well, I mean, I said it earlier if you weren't listening, Virtue.
Okay, well,
I mean, it's a rib, and she's going to go through that table over 20 times.
My thoughts are...
They didn't ask Aaron Rift.
It just said thoughts on Lana going through the table 7 times. I thought that was directed at all of us.
Here we go.
And we got to get that person's money's worth from the super chat. So everybody should answer. Therefore, that person's getting their full value for what they paid for. So my answer to it is it's entertaining, but not quite as entertaining as Bart Gunn in the Brawl for All.
All right. Roman Reigns. Look, this is going to be an awesome faction. They slow rolled Jay into joining them. Maybe we get Jimmy next. Naomi would be great. Here's the thing. Don't make it too big. Yeah. You don't need to have a huge faction like the NWO. You can have like 4 maybe. But as long as Roman just continues to be the way he is, and we totally forget how Vince McMahon envisioned him. And this is building to that. Now Roman, when did he need a group before? Well, now it's all about family and blood, and that's what makes this cool. If it was just random wrestlers joining Roman, whatever, that's another heel stable. We got the Hurt Business too. But the fact that it's blood and we see Authentica and they're doing all the tribal stuff, I want to see some good vignettes. I want to see some skits on the island. I don't know what island they would go to. They could go to Hawaii, and they could have so much great content as this builds. Draw it out. It doesn't have to go so quick because we don't even have fans there yet. Build this up so much that when we finally get fans, guess what? They are emotionally invested. And as soon as this group walks through that curtain, maybe we'll get some mixed reactions because you got people like me that are going to like it, but the fans will just get behind it and they'll go boo. And here's the kicker. You need to have the right baby faces against them, right? We've talked about The Rock. That's the story right there. But can it happen because of how big of a star The Rock is? Daniel Bryan would be perfect. John Cena, there you go. There's your money. Build this stuff up. This could headline the next 2 WrestleManias. The next 2 WrestleManias right here.
Shanti sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Shanti. Says, The Rock's daughter, ? I think she's way too green. I mean, maybe eventually, but I think it's way too soon to
Dominic
bring her
on
in.
there too already. You can't keep bringing these people up like that. You got
Dominic. I thought we were locking
No. I'm saying Dominic's on TV being shoved out.
Oh, yeah.
We can't keep doing green people.
But it could happen if The Rock comes in. They could potentially do a storyline with her involved kind of like Dominic getting involved with Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, where maybe Roman Reigns spears The Rock's daughter or something to get heat for the match. They could do something like that with her.
And I'd like to see Rikishi show up, but maybe he gets beat down by his own sons. I mean, yeah, okay, kind of cliche, but why not? Maybe he's trying to say, hey, we're not this type of people. Let's and then boom, he gets taken out by his sons. Roman sits there.
Did the Roman J thing remind you at all of the Eddie Chavo stuff back in the day?
Yeah, a little bit.
I could see where you think that, but I don't. I try not to.
I'm just saying, it's just something that popped in my head. It remind like that inner family stuff though, because in the States, Chavo was not a huge star like that, but just because it was family, I feel like it elevated Chavo and it actually got him further in his career. Yeah. And I'm not saying I think the Usos are definitely further ahead than him.
Well, this is the biggest Jay's ever been now. Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a big deal.
Chavo went to be Kerwin White, unfortunately, for brief time.
So,
but
that's true.
Yeah,
I don't think Jay will get down to the Kerwin White level anytime soon. I think he'll be in a pretty good spot.
In the tag division.
Yeah,
so they're always mid card, but yeah, this is the first time he's been main event. I mean, this is good for Jay.
He beat Daniel Bryan clean.
Yeah, and this could have. And if Jimmy can come along and bring Naomi with Naomi can finally maybe have that Becky importance, but as a heel, but because she's involved with them. Naomi's going to get, the company's going to care about her. And then the fans will be like, yes, she's going to get a push.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that would be a great opponent for Bayley. So why she's wasted on Raw? And maybe that's just as a red herring because she will join with Jimmy at some point. We'll see, right? What do you think, NoDQ Galaxy?
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, Rock versus Reigns for the custody of Rock's daughter. Ha, 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 ha.
No.
But, thanks for the donation. Aaron appreciates it.
Are you saying that joke was a bomb?
With that said, whatever. Your joke about the Lana topic not being that great, that was a bomb. Anyways, let's go around the horn because when it gets back to Aaron, he'll add something and try to drag this show out. Big G, I'll start with you for your plug.
Yep, NoDQ.com/BigBallaG takes it to my Twitter page. If you want to follow me, go ahead and follow me. If you don't, I ain't going to be worried about it. NoDQ_BigBallaG1988 on Instagram. And Jeff Feltz on Facebook. And that is it for me.
Well, thank you, Big G, for joining us, as you usually do. Robbie Vice.
Bye.
So that's his plug. You can follow him on Twitter at NoDQVice. Over to Aaron Rift.
If you dare.
All right. Well, this Saturday we have AEW Full Gear. I will be doing live coverage. As I mentioned earlier, I will be buying the pay-per-view legally, $50, giving you my thoughts after the show. It might be midnight Eastern, but I'm going to be doing it anyways. I will be half asleep. I'll manage to get through it. And I hope you guys will join me for that as we discuss AEW. Follow Vice, even though he posts controversial things. Virtue does. He'll call you a mark if you disagree with him. So go on Twitter. Follow him. Follow Big G. Big G's a very dedicated fan. We'll talk about NXT with you, NXT UK. I still haven't seen that Walter match, by the way. I heard it was a hell of a match.
I'm like 3 weeks behind on NXT UK right now, so.
Oh,
did anybody here watch it?
No, not yet.
I thought it was great.
Was it a 5-star match?
It was the best WWE match I'd seen in quite some time.
Well, I will definitely check it out as soon as I get the chance.
I take it you haven't seen Asuka versus Lana then.
That's true. I mean, that was a close second, but unfortunately, it did go to Walter. So,
Aaron, any other things before I close it up?
Just NoDQ.com, and that's it. Let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up.
All right, a lot of things here. NoDQ.com opinion section for all the great columns. All right, follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. Then when I subsequently piss you off, you can unfollow me. That's what I do. Facebook, NoDQ.com/Virtue. And, of course, Robbie at Twitter at NoDQVice. Go heckle them because, we can say whatever we want on Twitter. And, look, NoDQ.com is a free site, right? You go on there. There might be a couple ads that pop up, but that's where you can get your wrestling news. Does it have to be the split second that it comes out? Not necessarily. You'll get extra opinions, Aaron's content. And, it is what it is, people. We thank you for watching the review like you do each and every week and any donations you give to the channel. So for Aaron Rift, for Robbie Bison, for Big Baller G, I am Virtue. See you next time. Lana is the best. Lana #1.